LeBron and the Lakers are playing the Thunder tonight, against whom the King has averaged 28 points a game for his career. So 8 over his average, and it is history in the making. Entering tonight's game against the Thunder, as I mentioned, he needs 36 points to pass Kareem Abdul-Jabbar on the all-time NBA scoring list. The record has stood for nearly 40 years since Kareem passed Wilt Chamberlain in April of 1984. Tim Legler, how would you best describe this accomplishment by LeBron?
I think it's a byproduct of a guy that always did what he had to do as a scorer to give his teams a chance to win. He's different than the other guys in the top 5 on the scoring list who were raw offensive weapons that were trying to get buckets virtually every time they touched the basketball in the half-court set. That wasn't really LeBron. So I think the best way to look at this is just put it in perspective and call it what it is. When you combine the playmaking with the scoring, this is the greatest offensive generator in the history of the league, and that's the best way to describe it. He's talked often about not being a guy ever expected to be in this role because he didn't look at himself as a scorer first. The guy did take 20 shots a game for 20 years. Okay, so you are looking to get some buckets when you shoot that much, but I think his point is he always was a guy that did what he had to do in the moment as a scorer. When you add up the longevity, you add up the way he's taking care of himself to be able to do it at this age, and the fact that he never had a significant career-altering injury allowed him to eventually be standing here on the precipice of a record that I personally did not think was going to be broken.
Yeah, his scoring was incidental to making the team as good as he could make it, right? Like, let's never forget Matthew Dellavedova as his second best player. He almost chipped up against the Warriors before he did so the following season. Quick yes or no, does he get it done tonight?
Only if he has to. If it's tight, late, and he's got to score, he will. Otherwise, no. I think he gets a few points short and saves it for the Bucks on Thursday.
Skyhook playing for Kareem's team against Kareem's old team, right?
Exactly right.
LeBron will have the scoring record shortly, but he will not have Kyrie Irving for the stretch run. Listen to what LeBron had to say about missing out on his team trading for his former teammate.
I can't sit here and say I'm not disappointed on not being able to land such a talent, but someone that I had great chemistry with and know I got great chemistry with on the floor that can help you win championships in my mind, in my eyes. But my focus has shifted now. My focus has shifted back to where it should be, and that's this club now and what we have in the locker room.
He need Kyrie to do something this season?
Yeah, to win it all, to contend. Yeah, I still think that they can be dangerous. There's a handful of teams that can be really dangerous that have, for whatever reason, underachieved, whether it's injuries or roster additions that they're making throughout the season, whatever it may be. There are a handful of teams in the same category. Lakers are a dangerous team. Do you really want to play if AD's healthy, AD, LeBron, Westbrook in a first-round playoff series if you're Denver, Memphis, or Sacramento? I don't think you're going to want that. So they're still dangerous, but they're not a contender in terms of winning a championship or getting to the finals without that Kyrie Irving trade.
Yeah, it wouldn't be interesting, and who knows how it turns out. But if Kyrie really does want to sign with the Lakers, and they can wind up, because they ain't winning anything this year anyway, as you said, most likely not, but they could wind up with him next year.
Right.
They don't have to give anything up but the cash.
That's right. He could walk. This is a 2 or 3 month tryout with the Dallas Mavericks for Kyrie Irving.
This could be a blessing in disguise for the Lakers. 2 days until the NBA trade deadline, and here with the latest is our very own Brian Windhorst. Windy, the Nets already shipped out Kyrie. What else could we see from them before the deadline?
Well, Bex, I think that they want to be more active, but I'm not so sure they're seeing a fertile market. And in talking to league executives, one of the reasons is because there's teams out there that are looking to trade for Kevin Durant. Maybe not this week, obviously. I don't think that's happening. But this summer, there's an expectation that Durant may revisit his trade request, and that with Kyrie Irving gone, that the Nets may look at it differently. So a team like the Raptors, who was ripe to make deals, is also ripe to make a Kevin Durant trade offer this summer. So part of the reason why I'm not sure the Nets are going to be able to do anymore, and part of the reason why we might see some deals that could have been more significant not happen, is that the whole league is kind of waiting to hear from Durant and having the expectation that Durant will be the next big star out of Brooklyn eventually.
Meantime, maybe it works out for the Lakers that they didn't get Kyrie because they can just sign him for the money if he's available in the offseason, not give up any assets. On the other hand, that's a risk because who knows what happens between now and then. LeBron says his focus has shifted away from Kyrie. So if they do decide to pursue someone, could they be who could they be focused on before the deadline, Windy?
Yeah, so I think if you look at what the Lakers just did, they put both of those draft picks in play for Kyrie Irving. Now there isn't another Kyrie Irving, but that means that their fidelity to holding on to those picks has loosened a little bit in recent months. So if they made an absolute priority to upgrade this roster in the next 2 days, they could, because those draft picks have value. There is possibility of talks with a couple of sellers. The Utah Jazz, who have a couple of different options, particularly Malik Beasley, who's a three-point shooter, Jared Vanderbilt, a backup forward, maybe Mike Conley, who could come in and be a point guard. I would also say the team to watch that's low-key, it would be the Charlotte Hornets. They've been having discussions about potentially dumping some salary. They have a couple of guys on their roster, potentially Terry Rozier, that maybe the Lakers would have interest in. But it's important to realize something, Max, when you think about the Lakers. If they trade Westbrook or trade Patrick Beverley, which is the other candidate for them to trade, they potentially remove their cap space this summer. And they basically say, we're going to now lock this team in. And that's where they got into trouble here. By locking themselves into Russell Westbrook and not having flexibility to get out, they locked themselves in. And I think one of the things that they're debating is, do we make a deal to marginally improve and then cut off our windows for bigger improvement this summer? And that is a relic, a tax, a penalty that carries over from the original Westbrook trade that's limited their opportunities.
Quickly, Windy, do you have any sense of where LeBron is with it, though? That whether he'd prefer some marginal benefit now and keep the door open for Kyrie, whether he wants to push the chips in now or whether he wants to wait?
LeBron wants it all. LeBron doesn't want to wait. LeBron wants everything. But he has continued to give the Lakers patience and slack. He signed the contract extension before the season, meaning there's no pressure for his salary, his contract this summer. And he just said yesterday to Michael Wilbon, he's cool and thinks this team can make a run. He continues to give the Lakers opportunity, and I think the Lakers should value that, and it won't put pressure on them to have to do something.
Thank you very much. As always, Windy, we'll talk in a little bit. I got to figure, we were talking about it on the radio on KJM this morning. It's going to be a skyhook against Milwaukee, right? Kareem's two teams, Lakers, Milwaukee. But put this latest accomplishment, he's going to do it tonight or the next game. Put this latest accomplishment of LeBron's into perspective for us.
Well, this is a record that is reflective of his entire 20-year career. It is obviously it's about scoring the basketball, but really it's about being really good for a really long time. You know, it was amazing that at age 21, without a jump shot, he averaged 21 points in an era where averaging 20 points was hard. Like, you go back and look at the guys who averaged 20 points in 2003, they were mostly Hall of Famers, okay? And then even 20 years later that he's averaging 30 points. And so it's the product of an incredible work and development and longevity and staying healthy and staying motivated and staying focused over the course of the years, where the byproduct is just getting to this threshold that nobody else has been before.
He and a love for the game. The guy loves basketball, right? It's a labor of love. And the scoring, Windy, I agree, seems incidental in a way to winning basketball, right? He'll do whatever it takes to help his team win. And it just so happens he also has the best chance to score on any given possession, and oftentimes that's what he does. How important is it for LeBron, Windy, to get at least who knows if it's last, but at least one more chip?
Well, to be clear, and not to have what I'm about to say used against me or used against LeBron, he's wanted to win every year, even when he was a rookie and they were 10 or 11 games under 500. He wanted to win then. He still wants to win now. But I think he's known he's going to get the scoring record for a while. What's on the horizon for him now is to play with his son, because his legacy as an all-time great is secure. And either tonight or Thursday, he's going to cement it further. Think of the legacy of somebody who played 20-plus years in the NBA, won at least 4 titles, won 4 MVPs, all-time leading scorer, top 4 in assists, and became the first player ever to play with his son. That is the last line that he wants on that legacy and that resume. And he's been working towards it for years. And Bronny is doing great. He's having a terrific senior season. He's become one of the top recruits in the country. He's got a real chance at it. And that's something, when LeBron does his workouts and keeps himself in shape, what he's thinking about, what he's focusing on right now is, I need to stay in shape and stay in this league to get to Bronny. That's a driving factor for him every day.
The Griffeys did it. Ken Griffey Jr. and Sr. got base hits, hitting right side by side in the lineup for the Seattle Mariners. Thank you, Wendy. Dave McMenamin is live now for us in Los Angeles with the Lakers. Dave, what's the scene going to be like tonight? What special guests might be in the crowd tonight?
Max, I'm told that Kareem Abdul-Jabbar will be in the building in Los Angeles for the record-breaking moment for LeBron James, which is different than what Kareem experienced back in the early 80s when he passed Wilt Chamberlain. Wilt Chamberlain did not go to Las Vegas to see Kareem Abdul-Jabbar break his record against the Utah Jazz. So that's one face we'll look for. Also potentially Ty Lue, the Clippers head coach who used to be LeBron's coach in Cleveland, and Draymond Green, his longtime frenemy with the Golden State Warriors. They've both gone on the record and said they want to be in the building when it happens. And both the Warriors and Clippers are off tonight. So we're going to be looking for those faces in the crowd. But, the Lakers teammates are saying, let's get this thing over with. We got to win some games, and we know it's going to be a big moment for us as a team. But let's get it over with, and let's focus back on trying to make the playoffs.
Dave, what's your feeling about this? On the radio this morning on Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max on ESPN Radio, we were talking about, they're playing the Bucks next. Kareem's two teams, the Lakers and the Bucks. He'll do it with a sky hook against the Bucks sometime in the second quarter, maybe something like that. But they need these wins right now, and LeBron is known to do what he has to do. I can see 22 points and 15 dimes tonight. What do you see? What's your feeling? Is there a real shot he does it tonight?
I think we'll know at halftime. The way he comes out, if he's coming out aggressive, looking to score, and it's not happening for him, he can shift into that 22-point, 15-assist approach, and that set himself up for Thursday when, that's one of the biggest NBA days of the entire calendar. It's the trade deadline. We'll be talking about the NBA from the moment we wake up to the time we go to bed, and what better way to talk about the NBA than have LeBron playing against Giannis with Kareem in the building, right? But I don't know if he's going to go for the record-breaking shot with the skyhook, but I certainly expect him sometime tonight or sometime on Thursday to take a skyhook shot attempt because everyone in the building will want to see that.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.